Play surges forward. Possibility!
Dave, 2008. What a year.
What a year, and 14 years ago at the time of recording this awesome episode of Retro Football.
Yeah, 14 years ago. Wow. That season, man, the squad Man United had, good times. What's happened, man?
Wow. I think that could be a whole different video in itself, us talking about United and the issues. But today, yeah, FIFA 08 is what we're looking at.
Yeah, I'm hyped for this, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Retro Football. If you are new to the series, myself and Dave from YouTube channel Dave's Game Room, we both take a look and we play, usually two-player when it lets us, old football games. Now, this isn't as old as some of the games featured on this series. I'm going to try and... Look at this, man. The only thing is, the controls are mapped for me, like they're the traditional, what I call the default, rather.
Yeah.
FIFA controls. I usually map them as the PES controls. I'm not going to for this video, because I can't be bothered. Dave, have you got your controller ready?
I've got my controller ready. Let's give this a go. Parsec and PS3, in case anybody is wondering.
So, let's do a classic kind of Champions League sort of, and it was also obviously a Premier League fixture of the time.
It was indeed.
And you know the fixture I'm going to do.
Yeah, you're going to do Everton versus... Oh no, you said Champions League.
Oh yeah, you are on my side. So yeah, Chelsea v Liverpool was a big fixture, guys, as you probably all know, around this kind of era. Both, like we've already said, in the Premier League and the Champions League.
Yeah.
They did meet each other. This rivalry started out of nowhere between these two sides. So remember, this Chelsea side was very, very good. Now, you've got to bear in mind, guys, this Chelsea side went on to the Champions League final this season, because FIFA 08 was launched in 2007 for the 2007-08 season, and the final ended up being Chelsea v Manchester United, which United went on to win on penalties. But this team has got a lot of memories for me, man. This era was a good era, Premier League era for me.
It was, and Chelsea ran Manchester United very close, and there was always a player for Chelsea that would pop up and score a goal. There'd be a Florent Malouda that would pop up and score a goal, you know, or a Salomon Kalou, because I remember me and you used to message each other on Saturday afternoons when the games were going on.
Yes, we did, mate. So I'm going to put it in Legendary, guys. Amateur's the easiest setting.
Yeah.
Anyone who's played FIFA for any amount of time already know this, but Amateur's the easiest. Legendary is the most difficult setting.
Here we go.
We might have to change cameras when we get in there. But this is the PS3 version, I think, Dave?
Yes, it is. The PlayStation 3. It also came out, of course, on the Xbox 360. And I think there was previous gen versions, so PS2 also got this.
There was.
Yeah.
I spent all of my time on this game on 360.
Yeah, same as. Played loads and loads of career mode, actually, which was a bit more bare bones than the career mode of today, it's got to be said.
So Martin Tyler, Andy Gray will not be commentating tonight. It is Mike and Dave, because we've turned Andy Gray and Martin off.
Yeah, we had to,
so
guys.
Here, look at that side. That was a decent-ish Liverpool side with Gerrard and Torres in form. We've got Andrew Blodgett as the ref, whoever he is. He's a fake ref. So let's see what we got here.
Yeah, cameras.
In regards to cameras, we've got Telly Dynamic. I think Telly is what I used.
Yeah.
I don't think we had Telly Broadcast yet, mate. And there was no zooming in and out. That was it. So
that was it.
It's default cameras, which I think they'll be fine. But yeah, let's get into this, and we'll start talking about our memories with it as well. I got to remember it's the FIFA controls as well.
Yeah, same as. I've got to remember what those buttons are.
So you're Dave is the blue icon, guys. I'm the red.
Actually, it's the other way around, isn't it? Oh no, sorry. I'm getting confused. Yes, I'm blue. Mike's red. You probably saw me running aimlessly there, thinking, what is Dave
I was
doing?
wondering what.
I've got to remember the controls are default, as you were saying earlier, which is unusual for me with these, even with these old FIFA games.
Oh, and there's Petr Cech with his helmet.
Yeah, that's right.
So this game, mate, did you like FIFA 08?
Yeah, I liked it very much. This was quite a good step forward, I thought, from FIFA 07. It was less stiff. The ball physics felt better, and in general, I really did enjoy this and spent a lot of time in career mode on this game.
I loved, this game. I absolutely loved it. FIFA 07 kind of felt like the beginning of things to come.
Yeah.
And then this, because we had this shortly after the Champions League game, which was pretty good.
Yes, that's
this
right.
was, I was all in. I was like, here we go. This is brilliant. I think it was around the time, I don't know what PES would have been around, actually. Was it 2008?
Yeah, PES 2008. So this is a bit of a watershed moment, isn't it?
Yeah, because that, PES 2008 was awful. In my opinion, guys, I know some of you will like that game, but...
And we're talking PS3 and 360 version of PES 2008, because I know some people actually like the PS2 version of PES 2008 because it's the older game engine at that time.
Yeah. Mate, look how slow and sort of weighty this gameplay is. It's really enjoyable.
Yeah, it
I
is.
like
But
this.
it just reminds you that today, what has happened? Why has FIFA become this 200 miles an hour speed fest that it never used to be? Well, I say never used to be. In these times, it wasn't.
Yeah, I know, it's so annoying, man. And what I will say about FIFA around this time, I didn't like the visuals. Look at the player models. Look at Terry. He looks like he's been on the kebabs all night.
In fact, this reminds me, you and I both actually featured on a podcast for FIFAsoccerblog.com. And I can remember you saying to me at the time on that podcast that we did, the player models, they looked like wrestlers. They looked really big and chunky and ridiculous, didn't they?
Yeah. Like Rooney's the cover star for the PAL versions of this game, or the UK edition. And he looks like a bulldog chewing a wasp.
He does. He looks absolutely awful. In fact, his face looks like it's been hit with a shovel.
Right, we're being a bit too safe. We got to get this up the pitch.
As I say, is this Chelsea managed by David Moyes in the old days?
More like Louis van Gaal, just passing
yeah.
sideways for 90 minutes.
Van Gaal, yeah, forgot about that. That was
Oh,
painful.
he's gone away.
Oh, he's missed.
He's missed. Was that Dirk Kuyt?
I think that was Dirk
So
Kuyt.
let's quickly let's go back to that. The player faces, because let's have a look at some of these player faces. This should be funny.
Yeah.
Right,
So
that's see if you can guess the player, Dave.
Michael Ballack.
I think it's a defender. It's Carvalho, isn't it?
35. It's Belletti. Giuliano Belletti.
Belletti. Remember him?
Yeah, the ex-Barcelona player. That's
And
Terry.
this is Captain John Terry, who's carrying a bit of timber.
Here's
Hey, there's Carvalho.
Yeah.
Because he always wore long sleeves. The centre back, fantastic centre back, I might add.
One of Jose's signers. There's Ashley Cole.
Ashley Cole, he looks okay. His player model looks decent. That's SCN, he looks decent.
Yep.
Don't know who that is.
John Obi Mikel.
Yes, spot on.
Yeah.
Looks nothing like
I
him.
guess by the number of the shorts.
That is the Everton manager.
Yeah, that's
Super-
that's Rafa
Super
Benitez.
Frank.
Oh, sorry, that's Frank Lampard.
Yeah.
Well, you know
I've
that
already
is
spoiled it. That's easy. He looks decent. Sean Wright Phillips.
a real bundle of energy. I know that is.
Yeah. Drogba.
Didier Drogba. Yeah.
Very good player.
Florent
Maludo's a
Maluda.
bit hit and miss. That player model's decent as well. So now we've got the Liverpool players. Is keeper Reina. He looks decent.
Is that Finnan?
Is that
Steve
Finnan?
Finnan?
Yes. Steve Finnan.
Yeah. Carragher?
I think that is Carragher. It's not the best, is it? He's a bit dodgy.
He looks like Steve Finnan.
It's just Steve Finnan again.
Yeah.
Who the hell is that?
Ooh.
Oh, is that Smitsa? Not Vladimir
No,
Smitsa.
who was their
It's
number
too-
5? Who was their number 5? Oh, Agger.
That's Daniel. Looks nothing like him. I don't think Smeets was even playing in 08, was he? I
No,
don't know.
not this time. That's Reese.
That can. Yeah. That is Risa.
Yeah.
Reese's Pieces.
Well, we
Oh,
don't-
Jermaine Pennant. Remember him?
Doesn't
What
look
a terrible
doesn't
signing.
really look anything like him.
Too obvious.
Steven Gerrard. Yeah.
Xavi Alonso, what a player. I loved Xavi Alonso. He's such a good player.
He was. Very good signing for
That
them.
player likeness is okay. Who the hell
Ryan
is this?
Babel, number
Babel?
19.
It is. Looks nothing like him.
Yeah, it looks awful.
Looks nothing like... I mean, we're nitpicking here, guys, because a lot of these play models are okay. Fernando Tesco, as Dave would call him. Fernando Tesco's. He looks okay. And then... the
Dirk, I don't look anything like Dirk Kite.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah,
There you go, guys. There's the player faces if you are interested. But believe me, on some of the teams, Paul Scholes at Man United is one example, look awful in this game.
They do. And Carlos Tevez used to make me laugh as well, just on that note.
Oh, yeah, Tevez, yeah. But as does the pitch textures, especially at night in this, are terrible. It's like watercolours, isn't it? Look at that pitch texture. It's all gloomy and murky. It's very strange.
It's very dull, isn't it? There's literally nothing to it. There's no, well, what's the word I'm looking for? Colour to it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the pitch textures in this FIFA, but I didn't care because the gameplay was so good on FIFA. They'd got their act together, EA Sports.
They had by this time, hadn't they? FIFA 07 was decent. This was a really big improvement. As you mentioned, Champions League, which we've covered before, that game was also really, really good. I really enjoyed that game. In fact, Champions League was the start of Ultimate Team, although at that time Ultimate Team was decent. And this game, actually, if my memory serves me correctly, Mike, was one that we took online with some fellow forum goers on an 11 versus 11.
We did. Yeah, we did, actually, mate. It's good memory you've got there. It was terrible.
It was awful.
To be honest.
It was, yeah.
Just too many human players at one time doesn't work.
No.
Just does not work.
And plus
Let's see if we can get a goal.
Too many different playing styles, because you and I, as I'm hoping is sort of coming across on this, like to play the ball around as a team and work the ball around the pitch.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys were just interested in sprinting down the field and being the main man, as it were.
Oh, have I got a book in for that? I don't think the ref's even...
I think
he's giving us a throw.
I think he's asleep, isn't he, the ref?
Right, little long ball out to the wing. Here we go.
Who's there? Oh, lovely. And it was actually Sean Wright-Phillips, the real bundle of energy himself, that was out there.
Yeah, he'd say that every time, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Martin Tyler.
Sean Wright-Phillips, real bundle of energy.
But this is a lot
me.
better than I remember it, mate, actually.
It's very, very good. It's very, very good.
Liverpool player down injured.
Shall we kick the ball out for him? No, I don't agree. Let's not kick the ball out for him.
Ooh.
It was Lampard who nearly got the ball.
This was also my favourite Premier League ball, I think. Was it the Nike?
It was this, yeah. I remember us talking about footballs actually the other day, and we were saying about some of our favourites, and this one is one of mine as well.
The CPU's not doing much, considering this is legendary.
It's quite passive, isn't it? I wonder what's happened there. But then this game was hard. I mean, we're playing an exhibition. It was quite hard.
This is Ignite engine, not Frostbite.
Oh, is this Ignite, or is this even before Ignite? Because this is an old game.
It might be before, but
yeah.
it's definitely not Frostbite, where FIFA started to get a little bit easy in single player.
Yeah, and the physics went even wonkier, because the physics on this are decent. Says Dave as he loses the ball.
Yeah, this is very, very... And I know we're sucking, guys. You've got to bear in mind, we haven't played this for many, many years, but it's very playable. It's very responsive.
Yeah.
Because, like we said earlier, its competitor... I hated PES 2008. For me, the series was rapidly going downhill by this point.
Yeah, PES 2008 was always a head scratcher, because it was weird, as I was saying, a watershed moment. EA were getting their act together, and FIFA was really good, and PES was absolutely woeful. Next-gen PES, as they called it at the time, which... What was next-gen about PES 2008? Nothing. It was an awful game, in my opinion, and one of the very worst. And Konami never really truly recovered the PES series for me from that game.
They didn't. And it was the only competitor for FIFA. That's all we had was this. By this point, was this and PES.
Yeah.
Oh, can he keep it in? He can. No.
Unlucky. And also notice the lack of these sketchy cutscenes that games like PES had. This game doesn't have them. It's just out for a throw-in, and then you see the player with the ball in his hands to take the throw-in.
I love that about it.
So
it's
did I.
Drogba. Oh, it's Malouda, actually. Can I get a shot
It's
away?
Malouda with his pace!
Oh.
Fantastic. Love the
Look at
replays
that.
as well.
Uses his power and his pace.
Good stop from Beppe Reina.
So I'm going to take this corner, then I'll quit out, guys, and we'll have a look at two other teams.
Yep.
So it's not just Chelsea, Liverpool.
Hey!
Oh, wait. What happened then? Right, okay.
Yeah.
So let's see what other teams we got in there. So we've got loads of teams because it's FIFA.
Yep. Officially licensed.
Yep. So yeah, let's have a look, Cats. We've got France, French League, Germany, the internationals, Ireland, Italy. That's a shame with Italy now in FIFA 22. It's lost Serie B, which is quite a shame. But yeah, loads of leagues, guys. What me and Dave will do now is play. I think we should play the El Clasico, mate.
I completely agree. Let's get that one teed up. The Barca side at this time I liked, and I remember us talking about them a lot.
I need to go over there to change the teams first, don't I?
Yeah, so change the league to the good old Spanish league. There we go.
There we go.
And we want Real Madrid.
There it is. If I go back over. So, that was a decent side. Not their best. It was a decent side. They had a very, very young Lionel Messi coming through.
That's right, number 19 at the time.
And we're going to keep the settings the same there. We're going to have a day game this time, guys. See what it looks like in the day. If it's better visuals, because I didn't like the visuals on the night game at all, like I've already said. Legendary difficulty. Let's go.
Yeah. Little bit of arena action. This was something I did like about those old FIFA games.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, I did. I think you can still go back to the arena in FIFA 22. It's in them. It's buried in the setting somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
here
sure.
we go.
Anyway, look at that. The new camp. They've lost this stadium, FIFA has, in recent times because Konami acquired the Barcelona partnership, if you like.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. In fact, they did that with a few clubs, didn't they? Because with FIFA 22, didn't Juventus get lost from that game?
Yes.
So they were Piemonte Calcio or something like that, weren't they?
Yeah, there was a few. Roma was one of them as well. So
Yeah.
you're blue, mate. That's you.
Yeah, just remembering my bearings again with the controls, because the controls for change player are different. So it's L1 to change player and R2 to sprint, which is something to get used to with this again. I'm going to play a short. I'm going to play a short free kick, or at least I thought I was going to. Goes for goal. Oh! Hey.
Good atmosphere. Really cool atmosphere. Yeah. I mean, I think it was called manager mode in this. It wasn't called career mode yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's yours again there.
Yes,
and it was brilliant. It was just so much fun. I used to climb up the lower leagues with some crap team, and it was just so much fun. It was just a really playable football game. I know I always use that word, but it was really. It had a lot of depth to the gameplay for the first time ever, if you like, with FIFA, I suppose, or since the old days where FIFA was decent on the sort of snares and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd definitely go along with that. This game had a bit of depth to it, to the gameplay, and it was actually worth your time playing it, because manager mode, as you quite rightly said, most matches to me felt different. And I remember that was a comment we made a lot during that podcast that I mentioned, that the game felt different. Each match felt different.
I like how the ball physics are and like how weighty the ball feels, because PES, by this point, the ball felt like a wooden marble.
Yeah, it did. In fact, wasn't it a marble on a glass table you once described it as, which was a perfect description for me of the PES ball physics.
You're in.
Oh,
he's ballooned it. Skies over the bar. Eto. I'm surprised Pepe let you go through.
Yeah, and me, because Pepe's a big, strong, solid centre-back, or at this time he was, wasn't he?
He was, very, very tough centre-back. Dirty player as well.
An absolute monster of a defender. A bit like his colleague at the time, Sergio Ramos.
Yeah. Listen to that atmosphere, man.
Love it.
Sounds so cool.
You can tell that this is an El Clasico. It's fantastic.
But again, and I know, guys, it's a strange thing to complain about, but the pitch looks woeful.
It does. It looks flat. It looks like there's nothing there, doesn't it? It's really weird, and actually a bit washed out, I think, as well.
It does. PES had decent-looking pitches around this point, and,
yes, it did.
And FIFA didn't, basically. And PES also had superior player models.
Yeah, in fact, PES's player models for a long time were miles better than FIFA's, even before this.
Yeah.
They were miles
they
better.
Looked spot on.
Yeah.
And faces.
Yeah.
Faces
is
really
good. Yeah, and also pitch textures generally on the older PES games were pretty decent as well.
Loved them.
Yeah. Oh, he's in here.
It might be 1-0.
Oh,
he's
Van
headed
Nistelrooy.
over. That's right. He went there, didn't he?
Yeah, Ruud Van Nistelrooy. And I think David Beckham was still in the Real Madrid squad, I think, at this time. No, he'd left in 2007. I was getting confused. So he just left Real Madrid.
Just left, yeah, by now. Right. Messi. A young Lionel Messi here. Links up with Xavi.
Yeah.
Thierry Henry. Oh, that touch from Henry's dodgy.
It's got the ball back, though, Thierry Henry. That's a great ball. But I need to hold this up because I need some support. And there is Henry. Henry, go on, Henry!
Yes!
We've
got to go! But look at the play. Henry was a very slender man. What? This looks like he's been on the old steroids for a couple of weeks.
He has, mate. He's been on the EA steroids.
Yeah. He's been in the gym day and night, pumping iron. But it's 1-0. The Barca fans don't care about Henry's fake muscles. It's 1-0.
It's 1-0. I mean, he's been pumping them muscles to the tune of EA Sports.
EA Sports.
It's in the game.
On loop. Just on loop as well. Just pumping that on loop.
That's enough to make anyone start pumping iron, I think.
Let's briefly touch on the game that came just before, well, not just before this, but a year earlier in FIFA 07. That was kind of also a moment where it made a lot of football gamers take notice of FIFA for the first time. I guess that's the start of it all, wasn't it?
Yeah,
FIFA 07.
I think it was, because there was some quite drastic changes to the gameplay, to the physics. Oh, I was nearly in then. And yeah, it made people take notice because for once, well, for the first time in a number of years, PES actually had a decent competitor that played decent football.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Now, FIFA 07 I did buy, but I did end up still going back to PES 5. Because FIFA 07, whilst it was decent, there was still too much about it, which was very dodgy. Shooting was horrific on it.
Shooting was terrible, and I just thought in general the gameplay was a bit clunky in places, and it could get quite frustrating.
Whereas this kind of built on FIFA 07, the stuff that was good about it, like the build-up play and the tactical side of the game, and then they improved the shooting, and they made everything a little bit slower again, a bit more weighty, and FIFA 08 for me was like a finely tuned FIFA 07. That's why I'm bringing FIFA 07 up in this video.
Yeah, it was. I completely agree. It was like they got some good feedback from FIFA 07, realised some areas that needed improvement, and they actually listened to people, because one of the things that people said about FIFA 07 was responsiveness. Lo and behold, FIFA 08 was a lot more responsive, but in a very good way, not in a unrealistic, really fast way like today's games are.
Oh, it's a foul.
Yeah, you don't see that happen so much these days. I'm going to try and pass
fouls
it.
in single-player games are a bit few and far between now. FIFA 22 is actually not bad for fouls. If anything, after the update, you were getting too many fouls in FIFA 22, too many red cards.
Yeah, you were.
Which they've toned down again with an update. I wish they'd stop updating games all the time, though.
Yeah, that's right. Because you get so many updates that, you know, if you don't play the game for a few weeks, there's an update. I've got to wait 20 minutes to play the game.
And it's not just that. Oh, are you in?
Go on. Oh.
It's not just that either. You don't know where you stand with your football game when it keeps getting updated. So you might like one version, but then you'll hate the new version of that game. I wish EA would do what I think. Who published NHL recently?
That was EA, wasn't it? EA are the publishers of NHL, unless there's a separate NHL game, because there used to be NHL 2K.
Because what you can do in NHL, if I remember correctly, a terrible pass for me, is you can whenever you boot the game up, you can choose which update version of the game you want to play.
Now that makes sense, and I like that. I really do like that. Unless a version of the game has got game-breaking bugs and glitches, in which case you wouldn't want to select that version of the game. No, I like that.
I think if you take it online, you have to play with the latest update. But if you're a single player, you're playing on your NHL career or whatever it's called in that game, you could pick which version you want to play.
That's really good, especially for single player. Something that EA I'd love them to see with FIFA, because then, as you say, is that if there's a particular patch which makes the game slower or keeps the game slower and improves some of the gameplay, we can use that instead of, the Ultimate Team players have complained and now the whole game has been sped up in a recent patch.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a cool idea, and they need to do it in FIFA. But that's FIFA 08, guys. Anyway, I know me and Dave have been waffling on about all kinds of things, but we wanted to get this featured. Dave did say a few weeks ago we don't feature enough FIFA games on this series, and he's right. So there'll be more FIFA games coming, more Pro Evo games coming. Any games that are old-ish. Older. Look at Raul. That is terrible. As always, guys, thank you for joining us, and look out for more retro football videos coming straight down the internet into your homes very soon. Take care.